pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin.
And then just globally, do you have a sense of, like, sorry, I'm not trying to give you an ego here, but like if you look at the numbers on YouTube for like the pre-tournament press conferences.
She stopped the match for this. Alexandra Eala's heartbreaking hug with a disabled fan stunned the Qatar Open audience, and her shocking comeback in Dubai has left the entire tennis world in awe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to tennis. Pulp, your #1 destination for the most electrifying and deeply human stories in professional tennis. Today, we are not talking about forehands, backhands, or scoreboards. We are not debating serve percentages, rankings, or titles. Instead, we are here to focus on moments that stop time. Moments that reach through a television screen, grab you by the heart, and squeeze until tears flow freely. Emerging from the Qatar Open is a story that has captivated the internet and shaken the tennis world to its emotional core. A story so powerful it simply cannot be ignored. Breathtakingly pure, devastatingly raw, and profoundly human, this moment has left millions openly weeping. It revolves around the undisputed pride of the Philippines, the extraordinary Alexandra Eala, and a 72-year-old grandmother who risked everything for one final burning wish. One single hug, a hug felt across continents, and a redemption arc in Dubai so dramatic it feels scripted by destiny itself. Take a deep breath, settle in, and hold on tight. This is the story of the hug that changed everything. Picture: Court 3 in Doha, Qatar. The Qatar Open, one of the most prestigious early season tournaments on the WTA calendar. Known for its dazzling skyline, suffocating heat, and fierce competition, the stadium pulses with life. Thousands of fans fill the stands, voices echoing, shoes vibrating against concrete, flashes of cameras slicing through the air. The tension hangs heavy, thick enough to taste. Yet, amid this roaring spectacle, there sits one quiet, fragile figure. Elena, 72 years old, from rural Victoria, Australia. Sitting perfectly still in her wheelchair, she watches the court with eyes shimmering in silent anticipation. She is not here for luxury, prestige, or social media moments. She is here for something far more meaningful, something deeply personal. Elena has battled a debilitating illness for years, a disease that slowly stripped her of mobility, strength, and independence. Her days are marked by pain, exhaustion, and medical appointments. But through every difficult moment, one thing remained constant: her devotion to Alexandra Eala. Watching Alex fight, struggle, fall, and rise again became Elena's emotional lifeline. In Alex, she saw courage. In Alex, she saw resilience. In Alex, she saw the strength she herself desperately needed to survive. Every match gave her hope. Every victory fueled her spirit. And so, Elena made a decision few in her situation would ever dare. Living on a modest pension, burdened by medical costs, she sold the most precious possession she owned, the commemorative necklace her late husband had given her decades earlier, a piece of her past filled with love, memory, and loss. She sold it for one reason: to see Alexandra Eala in person just once before her body could no longer carry her forward. The journey was brutal. Flights, medical clearance, wheelchair logistics, and physical exhaustion pushed her beyond her limits. But Elena refused to stop. She carried her pain silently, her determination louder than any cheer. When she finally arrived at Court 3 in Doha, she felt she had already won. Just being there was a miracle. Just breathing the same air as Alexandra Eala was enough. But fate had something far greater in store. From the opening rally, the match was fierce. Alex moved with intensity, her footwork precise, her strokes clean and powerful. The crowd roared as rallies exploded across the court. The tension built point by point, game by game. Yet during a brief pause between points, something extraordinary happened. Alexandra Eala glanced toward the stands, and her eyes locked onto Elena. She did not know her name. She did not know her story. She did not know about the necklace, the illness, or the sacrifice. But she saw something unmistakable. A woman gripping the armrests of her wheelchair, leaning forward with trembling hands, tears glistening in her eyes. A human soul clinging desperately to hope. In that instant, tennis disappeared. Rankings evaporated. The match faded into insignificance. Alex placed her hand over her heart. Then she ran, not walked, not hesitated. She sprinted toward the sidelines, straight toward Elena, Security froze. The umpire leaned forward in confusion. The crowd gasped. Cameras scrambled. And then, in a moment that silenced an entire stadium, Alexandra Eala wrapped her arms tightly around the 72-year-old grandmother. It was not a polite embrace. It was not symbolic. It was fierce, emotional, desperate, and real. Two strangers united by pain, hope, and gratitude. Time stopped. Silence consumed the stadium. And then Alex whispered 3 words into Elena's ear, words Elena would later share with the world. "Thank you for coming." The crowd erupted. A thunderous standing ovation shook the stadium. Strangers hugged. Grown men wept openly. Women sobbed. Phones trembled in shaking hands. And Elena collapsed into tears, overwhelmed by the miracle she had sacrificed everything to witness. The moment exploded across social media. Within hours, the video had reached millions. Across Manila, Melbourne, London, Toronto, Tokyo, and beyond, people who had never watched tennis before found themselves crying in front of their screens. But to truly understand this hug, we must understand Alexandra Eala. At just 20 years old, Alex has already become a global phenomenon. She is no longer a promising junior or rising prospect. She is a legitimate threat to the world's elite. Reaching a career-high ranking of world number 40, she carries the weight of an entire nation on her shoulders. Millions of Filipinos wake before dawn to watch her matches, praying, cheering, crying, and dreaming alongside her. Every time she steps onto court, she does so not alone, but carrying the hopes of a generation. Coming into the Qatar Open, expectations were sky-high. After an extraordinary run in Abu Dhabi, where she reached the quarterfinals in singles and semifinals in doubles, fans believed a major breakthrough was imminent. But tennis is brutal. In the opening round, she faced a ruthless opponent. The match slipped away in heartbreaking fashion. A tight tiebreak lost. A second set collapse. A painful first-round exit. Critics pounced instantly. Doubts exploded across social media. Could she handle pressure? Was the spotlight too heavy? Was she overrated? Emotionally shattered, exhausted, and questioning herself, Alex stood on that court and chose compassion over despair. In her darkest moment, she ran toward Elena. That hug was not a PR stunt. It was not for cameras. It was raw humanity. A young woman hurting deeply, choosing to ease someone else's pain, and that single act of compassion changed everything. Because what happened next in Dubai defies belief. Days later, Alexandra Eala stepped onto the courts of the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events in the world. With the echoes of criticism still ringing in her ears, she walked onto the court carrying something new inside her. A fire, a clarity, a purpose. Point after point, she played with fearless aggression. Her movement was lighter, her eyes sharper, her spirit unbreakable. Match after match, she stunned higher-ranked opponents. When pressure mounted, she did not flinch. When match points arrived, she did not hesitate. She fought with the fury of someone who understood that her tennis meant more than trophies. It meant hope. Somewhere in rural Victoria, Elena sat alone in her living room, tears streaming as she watched Alex battle on. The necklace was gone. The money spent, the journey over. But the hug lived inside her, and through every rally, every roar, every victory, Elena knew she had witnessed something sacred. Alex's comeback run in Dubai electrified the tennis world. Commentators called it one of the most emotionally charged performances of the season. Fans spoke of destiny. Analysts marveled at her resilience. But behind every forehand winner and match point celebration lived a simple truth. She played for something bigger than herself. She played for Elena. This story is not about tennis. It is about empathy. It is about the courage to stop, to see, and to care. In a world obsessed with results, rankings, and numbers, Alexandra Eala reminded us that humanity matters more. That a single act of kindness can ripple outward in unimaginable ways. That sometimes the greatest victories happen far from the scoreboard. Because in that hug, Alex reminded millions why sport exists. Not for money, fame, or glory, but for connection, inspiration, and hope. In a stadium filled with noise, she created silence. In a world full of pressure, she created peace. In a sport driven by ego, she chose humility, and perhaps, in that moment, she discovered her greatest strength. As Alexandra Eala continues her rise in 2026, chasing dreams, battling giants, and carrying the hopes of a nation, we watch her differently. Now, we see not just an athlete, but a human being. We see a young woman who understands suffering, gratitude, and grace. We see someone capable of greatness, not just in tennis, but in life. Somewhere in Australia, a 72-year-old grandmother wakes every morning knowing that her sacrifice mattered, that her pain was seen, that her journey was worth it, that a single hug connected her soul to the heart of a rising star. And across the world, millions of people now carry that moment with them. A reminder that kindness still exists, compassion still matters, and hope still lives. This is the beauty of tennis. This is the beauty of sport. And this is why we tell these stories. Because sometimes one hug can change everything. This is Tennis Pulp. Keep your hearts open, your spirits strong, and never underestimate the power of running towards someone who needs you. We'll see you on the court.
Alex, after a terrific year last year, how does it feel to be making your main draw debut in Melbourne?
It feels great. I'm super excited, coming in. Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga laban ko sa Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open.